If you're brand new to creating content on the internet, what's the first thing you should put your focus and attention on? This is where a lot of people fail. Today, we're going to share with you what you should focus on and how to get started. Welcome to the Conversations on Content. My name is James, and one of the biggest mistakes that I see a lot of people making is they focus on the wrong things way too early in their content. And there's a lot of mistakes that people make right from the start that determines whether they're going to succeed or not. And today we're going to talk about some of the things that we need to do to create content effectively so that you can create the biggest impact that you can. There's three things that I want to talk about today. The first one is creating your core content. See, I see a lot of people that start creating content and they immediately want to see results. And sometimes you'll get lucky, but if you're brand new, you have no experience with creating content, you're probably not going to get lucky right out of the gate. I never have, and I've got 14 years of experience. I just started a new channel, and it's still kind of struggling to grow, but I'm not stressed about it because I know the growth's going to come later. One of the things that we have to do, and it's going to depend on you and how much time, because a lot of people are like, how fast should I expect growth? The first thing that you should focus your time and attention on is getting 50 pieces of content out. Now, if you're blogging, this may mean 50 articles. If you're doing videos here on YouTube, it might be 50 videos, but you want to get your first 50 pieces of content out. The reason why you want to do this is, one, you are going to learn a ton of the fundamentals just creating those first 50 pieces of content. Two, if you're doing, like a lot of people starting out, you're doing once a week because that's about all you can do because you're working a job, you're doing other things, you've got family life. So maybe when you first start, you can only get one piece of content out a week. That's going to be pretty overwhelming. And to get to 50, that's a whole year's worth of content before you ever start worrying about growth or engagement and all that stuff. Now, you don't even have to necessarily wait that long, but if you have something starting to get some engagement and starting to get some growth, that's fine. But if you get more content up, the faster you can get those first 50 pieces of content up, the more you're going to be able to tell YouTube or these content platforms what your content's about. Also, as more people find your content, this is going to give them more and more content to consume while they're there. If you're liking these tips, make sure you hit the subscribe button and click the little bell notification so that we can help you take your message further and faster. Now, one of the next things that I see a lot of people screwing up in their content strategy early on, and this is one that's kind of a sticky subject. And I'm going to explain this as I go through, so don't just run off as soon as I say this. You're sticking to one platform. And I've always been one to say, focus on learning one platform at a time. But in today's social presence world, you don't want to just stick all your eggs in one basket. And you don't want to be only focused on one platform. And the reason why is because there's so many platforms out there, and it doesn't take that much. If you create one piece of content, it doesn't take much to put that content out on multiple platforms. You can put a video out. So like what I do is I create, my main platform right now is right here on YouTube. So I'll create a video on YouTube. I take clips out of that video that are about 30 to 45 seconds long, and I put them out on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, Dubsmash, other places in vertical form. I also put some of those vertical videos here on YouTube as well in the short shelf. And this takes pieces of my main content and distributes it out to other platforms. Now, the reason why is because sometimes you might start seeing that you get better engagement on a different platform. So if you just focus on YouTube, you might find that TikTok is actually the best platform for you. You might find that Dubsmash, which is a small platform that nobody else hears about, is a great platform for you. You might start finding that you get a lot of engagement on Instagram and Instagram Reels. So one of the things that we're doing is we're create one piece of content, and then we cut that piece of content up. I even can take where YouTube will auto-translate my content and turn it into text. I can copy that, put it into a Word document, edit the text a little bit because, well, quite frankly, the auto-generated text sometimes misses what I say. And then I can post that on my blog as a blog post. And I can take snippets out of that blog post. I can take them into Canva and put them on images that I can post on all my social media. This way you're putting a massive amount of across all these different platforms, and you can hit more and more and more people and find where your target audience is, rather than focusing on just one platform. Then if you start building a presence on all these other platforms, if something happens and your YouTube channel gets shut down, like what happened to my friend Johnny over at Cajun Roots Reseller recently, you're not out of business because you didn't lose the one and only platform where you were dependent on. So along with being dependent on one platform, the other thing that you want to do is own your own platform. I've always been a big proponent of everybody having their own website, and you can do something simple like a WordPress website that's very simple and easy to set up. There's Wix websites, but you want to own your own domain where you control the property, you control the content, you control everything on that site. You can't get shut down if you own it. This is one of the most important things. It does cost a little bit of money. It takes a little bit of time. You have to learn some skills to set it up. But you want a place where you can post content that you control. And the reason we use YouTube and Facebook and all these other places, especially for those of us that do a lot of video, is video hosting is extremely expensive. It takes a lot of bandwidth. It takes a lot of money, and it costs a lot of money. And YouTube gives us that for free. But you also want a place where you can post your content. You can say what you want to say, do what you want to do, and have your control, so that if you get shut down on these social platforms, you're not out of business overnight. This is also where you can build your own email list of people that you can create content for specifically. And this is where you create more engagement, more relationships, and create a real long-lasting relationship, so you have a sustainable business that can last you for years rather than a short-term business that comes and goes. I hope these 3 tips help you to understand the biggest mistakes you need to avoid as a brand new content creator. If you want to know more, make sure you check out this video right here, where we're going to dive deeper into content strategies that are going to help you become successful online.